Hey everybody, this is Ryan with South Jersey Yak Fishing. Thanks once again for tuning in. So, who's excited for fall togging? I know I am. If you've been struggling with hooking up on tog with jigs, or if you find yourself foul hooking fish a lot, well, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you a really good example of how I set the hook on a tog, and I have to tell you right now, it's not immediately when I feel the bite, so make sure you stick around for that. Today we're going to be hitting the jetty, and this happens to be a great time of year to do so, and I will explain why in a few minutes. Also, somewhere in this video I'm going to have a thief trying to steal my fish. This was a close one, something you don't want to miss. We're also going to be trying a couple of different setups in this video, including a conventional rig, something I don't do very often, as well as I'm going to be using my mini dock rod, which essentially is a kid-sized fishing rod with super light tackle. And finally, I'm going to include a clip at the end of just some raw, unedited footage so you guys can see what an aggressive tog bite looks like and how fast these fish are coming in real time. It's the reason I love this particular fishery so much. Lots of fun, lots of things to see in this one, and without further ado, let's get started. All right, so in this first clip, I am using my 7-foot heavy Tsunami slow pitch jigging rod, and that's paired up with a Penn Battle 4 2500 series reel, spooled with 20-pound braid. This is the rod that I prefer to use if I'm fishing 3/4 of an ounce or more on my jig. Anything lighter than that, I'm usually looking to use my white Tsunami jigging rod, but we'll see that in a moment. The goal always in this case is to use the lightest amount of weight possible, just enough to hold bottom, but still light enough to achieve maximum sensitivity on the rod tip. And that's just so I can feel the stealthy bites of both tog and sheep's head. The bait I'm using right here is green crab. It's got a bigger profile, so I do need a little bit more weight to get down to the bottom in this current. And yeah, we're gonna hook up with a nice tog right here. Decent sized tog, man. That's a keeper. Nice fish. Hemi in structure. He's ooh, he's actually just shy. You're lucky, boy. I would have kept you. We'll keep one tog today. I thought for sure he was a keeper. He's fat. Bye-bye. It's that time of year we start seeing them fat tog. There's been a lot of small ones around during the summer, but the big ones are hanging out here somewhere during the summertime, and they start moving out and showing up at the jetty. So it's nice to see. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, this is a great time of year to be fishing the jetty, as our inlets are the gateway entrance in the spring and the fall for every single species that moves in and out of our back bays. And in this case, I'm just playing the part of the doorman, looking to bid them one final farewell, you know, before they move out for the winter. And this next tog is going to be kind of interesting, not only because he's a nice size, but also because he's a very cool splash of gold coloring on him. Dude, that was like immediate. That's crazy. Oh, that thing. Wow. Nice fish. See the same one that I caught before? Look at all that gold on him. Very pretty tog, man. He's got a lot of gold patterns on him. Yeah, man, they're really aggressive right now. This is fun. Again, he's just barely 15. So when I first started togging, I couldn't hook him. I thought I wasn't fast enough, but how could this be? I mean, after all, I was setting the hook as fast as I possibly could. As it turns out, I was actually too fast. I was trying to set that hook before the fish actually had the whole thing in his mouth. All I was really doing was yanking it away from them, and oftentimes I was foul hooking some other unlucky tog that was in close proximity. Eventually I learned that I had to be a little bit more patient than that, and now when I set the hook, I slowly lift up my rod tip, and what I'm looking to do is achieve a slight little rod bend, and as I continue to lift and feel more weight, I know that fish has the whole jig in his mouth. That's when I'm setting that hook. If he doesn't have the whole thing in his mouth, he'll just let go, and I'll just let it settle back down to the bottom for the next fish. I will leave a link at the end of this video to a tutorial where I go into further detail on this very subject, but for right now, watch how I set the hook in this next example. And right now I'm using my favorite rod for both tog and sheep's head, which is my 6-foot Tsunami Slim Wave. It's a medium heavy slow pitch jigging rod. It's super lightweight, super sensitive, and I have that paired up with a Penn Fierce 4 2000 series reel. I have it spooled with 15-pound braid, and I'm using a 1/2 ounce jig. Fish, man. Better fish. Swallowed that jig too, kind of. Keeper size or no? Let's see. Yeah, so this one's a keeper. This one's a legal fish. Barely. I think I'm gonna let him go though. I'd rather see him a little bigger. Bye-bye. Alright, so we're gonna give the dock rod a try. I got a little, I think it's a 3/8 ounce jig on here. We'll see if we can get something on it. I have a feeling I'm just gonna lose the fish and the jig or get pulled into structure just because this rod really has no balls. So this rod is called a dock runner, and it's basically a kid-sized fishing rod that I have paired up with a Shimano 1000 series reel and 10-pound braid. I featured this rod and fished it right alongside of a Kids Caster My Little Pony Kids Fishing rod earlier this summer, and if you missed that video, you really should go back and watch it. It was a lot of fun. I will leave a link to it for you at the end of this video. On the mini rod. On the mini rod. Alright, so here we go. What you see here is a basic dropper loop tog rig with a 4-ounce bank sinker weight, and I'm fishing this on a 7-foot Tsunami medium heavy rod paired with a Penn Battle 2 4000 series reel and 30-pound braid. It is not my favorite rig, and although it's necessary for situations like, say, the wrecks and stronger currents, I'm a light tackle guy all day long if I can be. And if I'm to be honest with you guys, I really do have to get a little bit better with this rig because it's totally different than fishing the jig. So when the current picked up, I did go back to the bridge to catch a couple more tog, but one of them in particular was almost stolen by this guy. And he lightened up a lot when I got him off the bottom. It felt a lot bigger at first. Whoa, that was a striper chasing him. Did you see that? Well, if you didn't, here's a second look. Yeah, did you guys just hear me say that that fish lightened up a lot when I got him off the bottom? This is pretty typical of tog, but this one lightened up a lot more than usual, which leads me to believe that this striper might have had a piece of him down there, and I may have pulled him right out of his mouth. Oh, it's wild. Getting chased by a striper. That's why they're not biting, man. The stripers are on the pilings. Okay, so now it's time for the final clip, and as I promised earlier, I'm including some raw footage, unedited, so that you guys can see what it's really like to be out there in real time. This clip will run about 6 minutes long. I'm going to catch 4 decent sized tog, including my dinner fish. And what I want you to take notice of is, after I flip the bail, how long, or maybe better said, how little I am waiting for a bite. This clip perfectly illustrates why I love fall togging. This is a good fish, man. Is this a keeper? Looks like he might be. Oh yeah. This might be my dinner fish, man. Might be my dinner fish. Thank God. I was actually starting to get a little worried I wouldn't see one. Oh no. Flatten out. He's just barely 15 also. I mean, he's really not even 15. Damn. I mean, he's right there, but it's not something I'm gonna keep. It's too close. I got both lips. That's rare. All right, bye-bye. Darn it, so close. Let's try that again. Leave everything on there. All right, guys, just watch closely on this next hook set. I'm gonna slowly start lifting my rod, and the fish doesn't have the whole jig in his mouth, so he's just gonna let it go. And as I let that jig settle back down to the bottom, another fish is gonna swoop in and take the entire thing. And this is a perfect example of what I was trying to explain earlier. Some nicer fish now. Still too small. Yeah, 14 and a half. Looking like. Bye-bye. All right, so this is getting a little bit more fun now. Let's try a whole green crab. A smaller one right through the side, and we're just going to crack that shell. See what that does. He was swimming up with it. That's why it felt weird. Alright, well that didn't really get me a bigger tog. I just chewed it apart. And I wasted an entire bait. He's biting me right now. He let go. decent sized tog. He's fighting hard. See? Oh, getting wet here. This one looks like it's a little longer. No. Yes, no. Yeah, this one's definitely 15. All right, I'm keeping my tog here. All right, that was the last fish, and this was a pretty good trip. I caught plenty of fish. I was able to show you guys some of the rigs I like to use, and I got to share some of the tips and tricks on how I like to set the hook. Don't forget about those 2 links at the end of the video, man. You're really gonna wanna check those out. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, smash that notification bell, and please consider supporting me by subscribing to my channel, as I would greatly appreciate it. And here's those 2 links. Catch you next time, guys. Peace.